are back with another Black with No Cream podcast. New episode every single Wednesday and Sunday. I'm your host, Ben Haggerty, aka Ben Real vs. World. Today's guest, my boy, Casey McPerry. This motherfucking guy has got a feed to see. If you are on Instagram right now while you're listening to this, please go to Casey's Instagram right now and just start scrolling, because it's fucking crazy. It's the craziest. Honestly, if you see how much work goes into this, or if you are a Photoshop person at all and make photos and videos, to understand how he formulated this little thing is wild. This dude's working with major brands nonstop. Just directed a commercial for Under Armour. He's like an ambassador for like Samsung and goddamn, I don't know. He's worked with everybody. Vans. He's worked with any major company you could think of. He's done it. He just brought us out to his Samsung event the other night, and it was pretty fucking fun. We were able to get in a cool little room, and they shot a shit ton of confetti at us and stuff. But I met Casey a while back. He used to shoot with Machine Gun Kelly and toured with him all over the world and got his start that way. And then, became famous, basically. And now people just hire him to fly all over the place, like American Express or Delta, who are also... I don't know how you call it. He's their ambassador, yeah. And it's what a dope position he's made for himself. The dude's a beast. His content is really, really sick, and it goes all the way back to his early ages of getting started. But when you watch his earlier work, you could just tell this dude's gonna be a machine. So pumped for this episode. Super motivating. Great creator. Make sure to follow him on all social platforms and really pay attention to this episode, because it's pretty fucking wild. With that being said, we can move on and go to the actual thing. I won't bore you with an intro. Psych! BWNC.com/shop if you want to get some of our merch, like this hat I'm wearing or that Black with No Cream mug right there, as well as our How to Charge a Client guide. We just launched that a couple weeks ago, and it is killing it right now. It is the Bible to figuring out how you should charge your clients. If you're a creator, if you're any type of creator and you're having problems figuring out how to elevate your budget or get a budget from client and elevate your price point, this is the one to listen to, because there's a lot of theory in there and things that you should be thinking and considering when you charge your client again next time around. So if you want to make some more money, this is a good way to do it. Otherwise, don't get it. But if you do want to make more money, you should get this. It's only $25. And it's available on shopbwnc.com. And you can get it actually on our Patreon, and a couple extra perks if you buy it there. Patreon.com/Black with No Cream. Swag. All right, cool. Let's get to this episode. Right, motherfucking now.
Attention.
If you stop this podcast recording at any time, you will die.
I don't want to die.
Do you want to live?
You have 24 hours to share this podcast with 5 people, or you will die.
I'm kidding, you won't die. You're just weak shit for not sharing.
And the winner of the best motherfucking podcast goes to...
Black with No Cream.
What do you think?
It's so fucking dumb and so fucking Ben Haggerty.
I knew you would say that. And we are back with another Black with No Cream podcast. New episode every single Wednesday and Sunday. Casey McPerry. How you doing, Doc?
Doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for doing that intro with me. That was pretty fucking fun.
Yeah.
So I'll preface who you are prior to this shit, the cool intro that we just did. But for people who don't know, who is Casey?
Who am I?
Elevator pitch me, dog. I'm a business, and you want me to hire you. Who are you? No, I'm kidding. Just like kind of highlight yourself.
Yeah. I'm a content creator right now in Los Angeles. Born and raised in San Diego, though. Grew up in the action sports industry, so pretty much kind of had the skateboard, surf lifestyle.
Right.
So I was never good enough to be pro, so I picked up a camera and then started documenting my friends. And fortunately, they got some big sponsors that were able to send me on some trips to start documenting. And then that got to get me to travel around the world, shooting all sorts of different activities. And then that led to the music industry, because the whole crossover from sports to music. And then went on tour, traveled the world with some artists.
Yeah.
And then
this motherfucker's lived a life, people.
Oh, yeah. And then now it's pretty much evolved to where I have like a creative agency, and we now work with brands on campaign ideations and
Right.
You know, full end-to-end spectrums.
What's the agency called?
Lightwork.
Lightwork.
Yeah.
When did you find that? When was it founded?
I think officially it was 2017.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're a fucking beast, bro. You're a beast. I've been
Thanks,
following
man.
you for quite some time. I met you at a party. Do you remember this? I met you at a party. It was like Red Bull did some shit in the hills in the summertime. I think it was like some random house in the hills.
Oh, the summer can thing, right?
I have no idea. Oh yeah, it was a new can. It was like a new can got released, and I just remember I was chilling there. We came with a bunch of squad, and everyone's trying to like get tacos or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I saw you like stand over in the corner, and I think you had a camera. Maybe you were just like chilling in the grass, and you had a camera. I was like, "Yo, what's up with you? What's up with you, brother? How are you?"
Fellow camera guy.
Fellow camera guy, yeah. But I remember talking to you, and you were like, "Yeah, I did some shit with Red Bull," and then you said something about MGK, and I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, all right, cool, I know who you are, or whatever." And then just started following you from there, and you have a ridiculous ass Instagram feed.
Yeah, consistency over there, man.
It's very consistent.
Yeah.
It's fucking pretty nuts. I mean, goddamn, you've been doing that for like, I try to scroll back, and I don't think it ends.
I forget when I started that. I think that was probably three and a half, maybe 4 years ago. It was right when ASAP kind of deleted his whole account and did that, like, you know, I think he did white forever, and then kind of transformed into some things, which was cool. But like the whole sets of 3, I didn't really like, because there may be one square that's like a shoulder, and like you're like, what is this photo?
Right.
So I kind of came up with a way so that each square is interactive, so that way it's not like, you know, everything gets good engagement, because there would be one photo on the sets of 3 where like a shoulder, for example, like no engagement, no likes, but the one of the face, people were like, oh, that's really cool.
Right.
So each one of mine individually is good as it's by itself, but as a whole, it all stays connected.
Right.
And then plus, you know, I can post one at a time and they shift and stay together. So I don't need to have enough content.
It's
good.
It's like, I feel like the headache, like I just start getting the headache as soon as I start looking at it, trying to think of how to plan this motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't even know what my next one will be, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I get myself like bleed room, wiggle room, so that way I know like I can trim back and kind of like insert what I want to go next.
How? What would you say for people that are looking at this? Like how can I imagine you adding bleed room? So do you have a Finsta or whatever that shit's called, like the private IG where you can like practice and see it?
Yeah, I have like my own private one that I like.
What is it?
Private Casey McPerry. Yeah.
I hope that really is it.
No. You can go see. I kind of just know how it all lays out pretty well now. So
yeah, I'm sure.
I just use it mainly just to double check to make sure like I didn't forget something. But yeah, no, it's been fun, you know. But that's, I think, what started a lot of my social presence was once I've kind of made that niche and like started doing something consistently, people started following me then for that sake.
Right. And I mean, they learn, like, clearly you're great at this, but if you click on shit, other things happen. So like sometimes there may be one of the collages that is a video. When you click on it, the collage like fucking spreads out, and then there's something happens inside of it, which is dope, because it's like, oh cool, he makes videos. Because to me, when you first see this, you'd probably think photographer.
Oh yeah,
great photographer and Photoshop or Illustrator or whatever you want. Do you do this shit in Photoshop?
Yeah,
you do it.
Yeah,
but then you make videos
for
too.
For the record, that was the first time I told someone what program I've used.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's like only 2, bro.
Yeah. Well, there's stuff I've been working on the down low that hopefully will come out soon.
About Photoshop?
For my feed.
Oh, cool.
I'll get into detail probably later on another episode, maybe, hopefully.
Have you worked with Instagram?
I have, yeah.
How's that?
It's cool. They, that's where most of my income comes to, is doing projects for Instagram. Not Instagram, but like clients need content for Instagram.
Right.
So to be able to work with Instagram directly on some projects for them is just,
super cool.
It's good to know the people that are kind of like giving you this world that you're working inside of. So
yeah, super.
They're really cool. I wish, I got more details of like, the perfect export settings.
Yeah,
I asked them like, what is like the perfect settings for the perfect quality, low file, everything. And they're like, man, we don't even know this information. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like
who does?
Like, let's go talk to, so-and-so and like just figure out because I'm tired of like always trial and error,
Yeah.
But I do think it has to play with, your connection with the Wi-Fi, or if you have like bad service, it'll probably upload pretty bad. So like,
well, I've always wondered, I always wonder if it's the actual upload, but I feel like it's when say you upload on shitty Wi-Fi, because people ask me this all the time, because for some reason my videos,
look good.
Whatever my settings have been for Premiere exporting out, they're always pretty fine. But like sometimes I'll upload it. I'm like, fuck, why is this distorted as shit? Blah, blah, blah. But I think it's just my internet on my phone. Because if I go watch that shit, maybe like
very true
2 states over, it might be what I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It is weird. They just like, how come it's 2019? They just don't have it fucking all the way across the board. Same shit.
Exactly.
Motherfucking.
They should have a little
IG.
Premiere drop down preset.
Yeah.
Just Instagram.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
I mean, that's gotta be really cool to be able to work with them and then see like, obviously, hopefully get some insight. And then also, did they ever like feature you?
Yeah, they feature me back when I just started my Instagram in that like collage style effect. They reached out and pretty much just wanted to hear my story.
Dog, how crazy is that? Do you know how many people are on IG?
Yeah, I gained like 40,000 followers from that.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I think they had about like 200 or 300 million when they featured me. But not saying there's a bad thing about that, but the people that at the time they put me on like the suggested users list, which if you don't know, if you just sign up for Instagram and you're like, who should I follow? They like recommended who you should follow. So a lot of the followers I did get were people that had just like were late to the game.
Right.
And that, signed up to Instagram and then never went back on it. So like,
weird.
It took a while for like the engagement to like get back to normal now, but for a while I was like, yeah, like these numbers weren't like looking good, I felt like, but
damn,
now
that's
weird.
it's
good. So
that's super interesting.
but yeah, then like, it's just crazy how many people are on Instagram. And like,
hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
Like,
and here are brands, spending a lot of money trying to figure out how to like engage all these people on Instagram and how to like sell products.
Yeah. When did you realize that? I mean, I know we can get into it later on in the story because I want to go back to like you kind of coming up, but
can you repeat the question one more time?
When did you realize, oh shit, brands need content?
I don't know exactly when that was. It was kind of, I think, when my career started growing and like brands started hiring me for things. I'm like, oh, like here's another job for like social, or another social post.
Right.
So it kind of it grew with my career as well, because fortunately I kind of like got in the beginning of the whole social craze. So like I kind of saw it grow together. But yeah, I was about like 4 years ago maybe.
There was a guy, or yesterday I was on YouTube and I was just like, one of those ads popped up and it was like, I'm going to tell you how you can, he was holding a fucking DSLR. I'm going to tell you how you can make 6 figures in 1 or 2 months with just this camera. No other gear, just this camera. And 5 seconds, he got me in 5 seconds out. But what he got me on was like, oh, I'm going to record this video and I'm going to do a reaction video, because I was really reacting in real life. I was like doing the dishes, like, oh, I'm going to do. And like, I wanted to like make a reaction video, which I've never done before, but I wanted to really just like make fun of it.
Was that the dude that has like a glide cam? And like
no, just his DSLR.
Okay.
6 figures, just that DSLR. That's all you need, bro. And you can even start without the camera, he says. And I'm like, wait, what? You can get clients without the camera.
Hey, actually, I can agree to that. You might. If
you can.
If you can write a good pitch and proposal.
Yeah.
Get the budget, and then you can.
That's what he said he did. Yeah. And then he said his client was very unhappy because he did not know what the fuck he was doing. So he had to spend thousands of dollars to hire other photographers to do the shit for him. I'm like, but I listened to it, right? Because I was like, oh, it's connecting me to I wanted to see what his funnel process was and all this shit, because I was just interested. Then I watched his seminar because I was like, what's he going to say? And he was a trash. He's a douche, whatever. But then what he did say was genius, because he's like, yo, what I realized was that Amazon has millions of products going onto it every single day, and every product needs photos. Mm-hmm. So I need to start reaching out to them or target marketing those people who need the photos, and then be able to take decent photos, and I can make a fucking 6-figure living off this shit. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, damn, yeah, you're right. And when you think about how many brands there are that need content, there's a lot of room for creators to get jobs in this industry. You know what I mean? But on all levels. But I just thought it was funny because I was sitting there like, wanted to make fun of him so bad, but then he was really right about like, yeah, there's a lot of people that need pictures. And I'm like, you're fucking right. I call one of I want to call my brother. I call my homie Mike, like, yo, on your side hustle, you should just take pictures of Amazon shit, because this guy told me about it. Anyway,
yo, your ads are like my ads on YouTube. It's always camera related or like some new product coming out. Like, you want to get smooth footage? Use this guy.
Or is this like, hey guys, yeah, that's my fucking Maserati in the back of the car, and I sit in my garage and I sit on my computer every day. Do you want to learn how to make millions of dollars like me? Don't click next. Watch what I'm just like,
e-commerce.
Why am I the person? Why I'm gonna not click next. You know what I mean? Like, it's really a crazy world. But I do like the theory of like, I think some kid hit me up the other day too, and he was like, hey, I'm 27. Do you think I'm too old to get into the game? And I'm like, bro, I moved to LA when I was 27. Like, no, there's so much work that needs to be done always till we're dead, and then there's gonna be more work beyond that for the next generation. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like the competition's too tight, or do you feel the same way that there's like so many brands, so many content creators that it could kind of like be an even playing field?
It's a tough question because like there are so many people that are willing to do things for free. So like, you know, I feel like you're always going to stand out though, because when I was young, I used to do a lot of stuff for free. And I assumed that like brands were stoked that you could do it for free. They're like, oh, I don't have to pay this kid. But a lot of brands have to spend that money for like their budget.
Yeah.
Because if they don't spend the money, the next quarter, they're not going to get that budget. So they're like, man, I need to pay you money. But like you coming off saying free, then the client's like, oh, that's not the right level of skill I need.
Right.
So there's like a weird balance of like, you know, in the beginning of like presenting yourself where you're like credible, where you're like, oh, I should get paid this much, or like, oh no, on the homie, I'll do this for free because it'll lead to other things. So
Right.
It's a constant battle, I feel like.
Yeah. It's really, I think it's an interesting conversation all the time, just because everyone should know their worth, right? Like it's the hardest shit in the world to know your worth.
is.
Like, because every budget's different. Like, we just had we're making like a guide. We're actually calling it's called How to Charge a Client Guide, or booklet, whatever. It's like 45 pages. Me and Dave have been writing it for like a couple weeks. And that was like one of the main things. It's like, you have to pick and choose your battles, clearly, but it doesn't have to last forever. Like, I didn't get any money. Like, the first year I lived out here, I was doing the most shit. It was insane. And I slept on a fucking air mattress for like 16
Yeah,
months.
but you probably made some great relationships
Insane
that
relationships.
led to, you know,
Buco bucks.
exactly.
And that's like the idea, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's what you want to take it. But all right, anyway, before we talk about all that bullshit, San Diego. Is that like, is it just surfing dope there or something?
Yeah, we had surf PE growing up and stuff.
Are you
know?
fucking
Yeah.
serious?
So it was definitely, you know, you couldn't complain living up. I grew up in a town called Oceanside, so like you pretty much lived by the ocean, and you know,
That's so dope.
woke up, got your little breakfast burrito, surfed, and you know.
That's a fucking vibe. That's a vacation vibe. That's like
Yeah.
what I want for vacation.
Did you ever watch Rocket Power growing up?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's Oceanside?
Pretty much, exactly.
You got the pier with the
between
cool
Santa
shit?
Monica Pier with
Yeah.
the roller coaster, because we have a pier in Oceanside too. It's the world's longest wooden pier. Little fun fact.
Is that the one with like,
There's a Ruby's at the end of it.
the fuck is that?
It's a restaurant. It's
Oh,
like
Ruby's.
Yeah. It's,
Oh, okay. I thought you meant
it's like a 50s diner.
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like jewels or something.
Oh yeah, no, we're just balling down
Rubies
there.
and gold.
Yeah.
So was it like, do you get graded on, what if you suck at surfing?
No, it was more just you know,
Activity.
just you're doing something physical. I think
Right.
it's kind of more the act of it. But yeah, no, it was great growing up down there. It was like action sports capital of the world. You know.
What other sports are people prone to doing in San Diego? Like motocross?
Yeah,
and
motocross.
skating
So
and-
like my dad, you know, used to race when he was younger and stuff. Never made it to the pro level. So then he kind of got in the industry of being like a sales rep for companies from like all sorts of different people. And I kind of like grew up going to trade shows and like going to events with him and races. So I think that kind of helped get my foot in the industry for action sports. But yeah, like him being like a big moto dude, we could go surf and then go out to the desert an hour to 2 hours in.
So
Go ride
sick.
some dunes, and then you can go another hour up to like Big Bear and go snowboarding. So that
So
was
how
that
far
was
is-
that was a trifecta if you could pull that off in one day.
Have you done it?
Yeah, it's definitely you gotta wake up early.
Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I've always said that, because I've heard that you could literally surf, snowboard, and skate or something, like, you know what I mean, like this triple combo.
yeah. You can't really do that in LA just with the traffic. I feel like
You don't
that's
think
not
it'd make it?
possible. No,
Yeah.
you gotta be down south more for sure.
So if you drove from San Diego to Big Bear, it's how many hours? 3, 4?
I don't know.
It's like 3 from here, I think, or 2 maybe.
Man, depends on how fast you drive because you can get up there pretty quick.
Right.
I would say three and a half. Because I'm like 45 minutes north of downtown San Diego. So,
Got it.
Yeah.
I was just in San Diego for a bachelor party the other day, and I've been there a couple times on tour, but it was like tour, you know what I mean? And
You just know the venue and the 1 mile radius
yeah,
and all the
literally.
bathrooms.
Like, where's Chipotle or where's like a fucking sushi spot?
Yeah.
And then, but we stayed like by the beach, and fucking the amount of birds and limes and the wheels, the electronic shit that's on the dude is so fucking crazy. Like
Those things are dangerous.
everyone's mobbing, like just yeah, they are.
It's more just how like, people aren't comfortable on those things. So they just like eat shit all the time.
Yeah, just
or
like-
just run into people.
Yeah, like, mom, come on, get on here, and she's like
Yeah.
fucking from wherever.
And it's weird because like a scooter people think is safer for some reason because you have to like sit on a bike.
Yeah.
But like, dude, you can't ride those things with like out falling, I feel like.
I know, people, it's so fucking funny. I felt bad because we were like cruising, and this dude was just like maybe everyone parked their birds in front of this one dude's house, but it was still on the boardwalk. So they're just like, oh, let's go to the beach. Let's leave our shit here.
Yeah.
And then this dude, like when we were coming, I just see this guy he has this scooter and he's just throwing it into the sand. And he goes and grabs the other one. He's just like, fucking God. You know what I mean? How many times he has to do that now every day? I'm like, that sucks. But it was cool because we could like go up. We went to, have you ever been to the bar that's there? I can't think of the name, but they like have fish races. Like you can like
Bet on a fish.
No,
I haven't heard of that.
Really?
No.
How'd you know the name of it?
You said a fish and there's a race.
Yeah, tight. That's a good idea. But I don't know if that's what it's called, but that's what we were doing. Like it's like bracketed, and then you have like a straw, and you can like blow into. They dump like a fish, and you're competing against someone else, and you have to blow it to the other side of the tunnel thing or whatever.
Okay.
PETA might fucking hate that shit, but we won. It was dope as fuck.
What fish are we using here? Is it goldfish?
It was just like goldfish or something, and then you just they drop them in, and everyone's screaming, and you're just like you're trying to scare it with bubbles, and then. If you get to the other side, Dave won it actually. Dave was the champ. We did that on Beyonce's tour, and then Dave like just fucking tore it up. So tight. It was like me, him, and B's guitar player, and we're just like screaming, and then we won like a $250 bar tab. Lit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
I'm glad that's what San Diego's known for.
It was really cool. So everyone should go there.
Right
whatever he says. Yeah, whatever he suggests. Take my opinion on it.
I don't think PETA would like that at all. Actually.
No, probably not. So what else would you do? You were like when. I don't know. You would motocross and you would do all the sports? You just were.
Yeah,
never
I was a
success
jack
in
of all trades, but I was never good at any of them.
Right.
I definitely got hurt. Like, yeah,
way too many times.
I don't know. I just feel like I was meant to like not do it, but I just when you're around it, you're like, oh yeah, I can do it.
Yeah,
I can shred, and then all of a sudden you break an arm. You're like, yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work out.
So did you pick it like when did you find yourself getting like to filming and photography?
I've always had a camera. My mom was always a camera photographer in the family, not professionally. She just always took the mom photos and always had the camera. So I'm like, oh sweet, we got some extra cameras laying around.
Yeah.
So I just started picking that up because when you would go to school and your friends were like, oh, I jumped this big jump on my bike. You're like, the best way to show that you actually did it was with a photo or a video. Yeah. This is before like Photoshop was like a thing. We could fake things. So.
Right. Yeah, right. Fucking
exactly.
Lucky.
So that's where it kind of evolved was like, me and my friends just making little dumb skateboard edits. And it just kept growing from there, I would say. But it was a dope grow up era for me, and definitely it's cool to look back on those little home videos.
Did you have like classes at all in school that focused on any of this or no?
I did take one. I don't know if it was really counts as like I learned it from there because the teacher didn't know anything, and I actually learned more because I would just YouTube and Google what I wanted to know. Like he was reading a book on how to like use Photoshop, and I'm like already like 5 chapters ahead.
Right.
I'm like, all right, there's got to be some more information on Google.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I took that. I think the teacher actually didn't like any of my work for the most part. He picked the cheesy like photos of like a little daisy growing out of concrete, or like the typical water puddles, or like the photos that most like when you start out you take. He liked those ones, and I'm like shooting my friends.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
Fucking person.
Yeah. So whenever I shot my friends like surfing and skating, he was just like, eh.
What? Yeah. That's just hard.
Yeah, I think maybe just because he grew up in that area, everyone was doing it. Maybe.
Oh, true.
But and I like what I kind of did was a little different. I did the whole like sequence photos once Photoshop came around, and I was like, oh, I can merge them all into one photo now, and you can see the flow actually and stuff. So that was cool.
I mean, shooting action sports is like requires so much patience.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All different sports, and I know you had Louis on this show, and I think snowboarding is probably the worst. Yeah. It's actually because there's a lot of different things I'll go into here. If you're sitting on a mountain freezing and you're waiting for this guy to come down for this one shot.
It's fucking so cool.
Obviously, you better capture this moment. Mm-hmm. And if you miss it, you're like, all right, let me radio down and get them to heli back up and all sorts of shit. The whole time you're freezing. So, like, that's not my favorite subject to shoot, even though it's, like, the coolest landscapes and, like, you're out there. But, Moto and skating and BMX were, like, my sports that I kind of, like, was known for, I feel like.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, you had talked off camera about home videos and your Lego stop motion videos that you were making.
Yeah, that started everything. I think I was watching like Wallace and Gromit as a kid and just seeing that. You ever seen Wallace and Gromit?
Maybe, I don't know. Why does it sound familiar?
It's claymation animation. The guy.
Was it online or a production? Like
it was a movie that came out. I don't know. Have you guys heard of Wallace and Gromit?
We're from Iowa, bro.
Oh shit. I'm hoping I'm saying it right now. I'm pretty sure it's Wallace and Gromit, dude.
Wallace and Gromit?
Cheese, dude. Is a dog and is like
you're
it's
right.
a British man. Yeah. He loves
Oh
cheese.
yeah, this fucking guy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, okay.
Totally. Those are like the OG like stop motion, you know.
Yeah, right. Real clay animation.
Yeah. So I had loved those movies too, and I'm like, shit, I got all these Legos, so might as well attempt to make some cool Star Wars little action figure stuff. So yeah, and this is back with like the VHS tape, so like you couldn't delete things. You just had to like record, and that's actually what's cool to watch now, seeing the little mess ups that I would do and like just go for it, and the string that would have to hold things to make things float.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I loved like getting like a helicopter Lego and then like putting on strings. Like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, but it's funny because it's like all like in stop motion, dun dun dun, and here's like actual motion now going. And it's like,
yeah. So how would you edit it then?
No, you just
did it in camera.
I never actually edited. I just plugged it into the TV and I would play it back and watch it. And then just recently I decided to digitize it all.
So sick.
And then like watching it again, it was like dope.
How long did it take you to digitize it?
I didn't personally do it because I didn't want to mess up these tapes. So I went to this place in Santa Monica.
Nice.
It was cool.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah, it was definitely worth it just to get that now on my like hard drives and just have it safe.
Yeah.
Copied over because who knows?
Right.
It'd be cool to look back someday. Like it would be cool like Steven Spielberg and all those types of people like Quentin Tarantino, like seeing their old stuff.
It'd be so dope. I think that, I mean, it's so, I just liked, I made a video after Christmas of like my 3 years in LA or whatever. Cause I think at that point it was like, I've been here for, you seen it? Mm-hmm. So, but like just living in that shit, there's so much more shit I wanted to show, but I'm like, fuck, I forgot I did this or this and that.
Yeah.
Like my drive only goes back to like 2009, 8 or something.
No,
I need to
mine's 2007, dude.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's smaller quantities so you go back.
But my dad, like, I just found out this when my parents were out here. I guess my dad recorded over their wedding tape. I was like fucking pissed. But I'm like, dude, think about how fucked that is. Like, hard drives are the shit. The cloud is the shit now. Like, being able to back stuff up. Cloud? I use it for a lot of the podcast shit. Like, that's how we send it to the interns that are editing it. But like, I think I would be interested in it. There's a kid that is actually from my home state that reached out and said that they were building cloud storage like that for creators, and like they wanted to, and if it's dope, I'll link you to it because it sounds like it could be like they just have like a fast way of dealing with it and storing it, but it's so expensive to like invest in that shit and then not know who the fuck is looking at it. Yeah,
and I think that's just me being maybe a little old timey right now. Like not saying I don't trust what's going on there, but like I have nothing to hide on my hard drives, but I'm like, man, I don't want whoever's looking at it. But eventually I feel like everything will be up there.
I have a lot of NDA shit that I know I can't, like no one else can have that thing. You know what I mean? So it's like, fuck, how do you, then you have to spend, what do you have at home for your backup?
G Technology Shuttle XL 72 terabyte RAID.
Is that the big, like, it's all built in? Yeah. We have, I think we have one of those. Andrew might have that at his house. It's expensive as fuck.
Yeah. It's like $70,000 for that thing. And then when you shoot on red, you know, obviously like
rack it up.
Oh yeah. And then you gotta have a duplicate. And it's funny because I only have one of those towers, and when you look at some of these production companies, they have like multiple ones that they have duplicates and then like third copies. I'm like, I've never been the third copy type of guy, but you know, I try to keep at least two now. But
yours is rated, so everything's split and you have a backup within the one system?
No, I kept it so if two drives failed, everything was recoverable.
Right.
But no, not internally, because even though it's 72 terabytes, I only have 60 terabytes of actual like read and write storage.
Right.
So
because it's saving it for like,
and when I first got that, I was so bummed. I'm like, I paid for this. I want this extra, 12 terabytes.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh, okay, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
So
tech people, my mom's listening to this. She's like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah.
Shit. Everyone knows that because every time I always reference, just anytime we talk about something that I know that's out there, I'm like, my mom listens to this. She listens to every episode. And I'm like,
my mom's the same way. If you get the mom approval on any video, you're like, all right.
She'll call me and give me like full reviews. Oh, hey, so you were talking to Casey and it's crazy how similar you guys were. Like, you would ride dirt bikes. You weren't that good. So, you know what I mean? Like all this shit. It's so fucking funny. So when you started doing the action sports shit, was it immediately just like hobby shit? Like you were just you started getting into cameras. You said your first camera was what? The
Rebel T1i was like my first like, oh man, I got like a pro camera now. I can put actual lenses on this thing and get fancy. I just would always go to the motocross track. Just Paula Raceway was like the local track, like 10, 15 minutes from the house. And a lot of the pro racers and mainly freestyle guys would go there because they had actually only tracks with like ramps.
Oh, that's sick.
So I had went out there one day and I met this kid who was doing some like gnarly whips and tricks, and I'm like, dude, this guy's sending it. So I started shooting some photos, and he came over. He's like, hey, you a photographer? I'm like, I got a camera. And he's like, oh, I'm doing this thing called the X Games. Like, I just came here from Australia.
Oh shit.
You want to come shoot? His name's Jared McNeil, and like he ended up getting a silver medal first time there, and he was 19 and I was 18 at the time, and you know, all of his sponsors didn't think that he would do well, so they had to hire me to get all the photos. So like once I got my first like paid job selling a photo, I was like, shit, you can make a living doing this,
right?
So yeah.
So you shot him getting the silver?
No, well, I shot photos of him whipping.
Right.
Yeah. And then like after that, they're like, shit, we need to run some ads in like Transworld, and can we go like shoot some photos now of him? So like since I was the only guy that, you know, Jared knew, he's like, hey, let's go shoot some photos for these ads I need to be in now.
So sick.
Yeah. Which is actually another funny full circle, because then I worked at Transworld Motocross for you know, a couple of years. So it was cool to like shoot and have like your photo published in a magazine and be like, oh my God.
And then like go be there.
Yeah.
So
having something tangible to hold on to.
So crazy. Which I just found out that Transworld snows no more from Louis' interview, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was sad. I was there during the transition of like, you know, all the different branches being let go and changing, because, you know, it's expensive to run a magazine. You know, every month too. And it's just like with the way we're moving in digital right now, it's kind of like with social, you can like track and send targeted ads to whoever you want.
Right.
But with like a magazine, you know, you spend a lot of money for this page in a magazine. How likely is it that a kid's going to go buy this magazine and then stop on your page and now like Google, oh, this is the link,
right,
and then go buy something?
Yeah, that's so true.
So with digital, you can literally like click it and go buy it within like 5 seconds. So
that's so true. Yeah, that's a bummer, because magazines were cool.
Oh, dude.
Like they were so cool back then, and it was a way to learn about shit. But like again, what you're saying is like, now I can get on here and I can. Who'd I follow? Gimbal God, do you know him?
Yeah.
Is he from San Diego?
I don't know him personally. We were social friends. We have a lot of mutual friends.
I think he might be, dude, because
I'll give a positive. Yeah, he's from SoCal.
Because I think he hit me. I asked him to be on the thing. Louis connected me with him, and then
dude, he sends it.
He's so fucking sick.
Yeah,
his shit is, but like I would have before, I would have had to have found about him in a snowboard film, or maybe if he did stills too, like a magazine.
Yeah.
And you have to wait till the movie comes out, and you're waiting to go watch it, and then you're watching all these riders, and then you see this shit, and then you try to find out who did it. And then, but now it's just like someone posts and tags them. I'm like, oh, that shot was dope. Who's this? And I click that, and then all of a sudden my explore feed's just snowboarding now, and now I'm learning about all these. You know what I mean? It's like,
oh yeah,
it's so crazy how it transitions.
Well, that's kind of like over the course of like time. You know, before it was like if you got on the radio station, it was like huge.
Yeah.
Then on TV, it was like huge, and that like killed, you know, the radio star, because you could see what they look like.
Yeah.
And then, you know, magazines now today, like even with, you know, Black with No Cream, like your own network, your own channel,
right,
that people are like subscribing to and watching. Just like if you want to subscribe to HBO, like,
right,
oh, I'm coming here to watch your content. So now everyone's their own personal like network channel.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm just thankful that Black with No Cream is one of the biggest ones out there. So just thankful for that.
Oh yeah.
So you shot him, and then all of a sudden Transworld's kind of fucking with you. Is that how you got the job with them, or did that not come for a while?
I think I may have annoyed them a lot with like my photos of just like, hey, I got some photos of some riders, like you guys want them and stuff. And then also my boss at the time at Transworld, before I got hired, he had knew my dad, you know, way back in the day and stuff. So I think the relationship that my dad had too kind of like got my foot in the door. Like, oh yeah, I'll give this kid, you know, an opportunity.
Yeah.
But it was fun, and I think working there definitely taught me how to like, you know, work in a business aspect of things and like production, even though like most people look at that job as like, dude, you just were at tracks all day shooting photos, like goofing off. But it kind of taught you like deadlines and like learning how to like turn around content really quick, which then like led to like, you know, the rest of my work ethic of like trying to get stuff turned around really quickly.
So what was your job at Transworld? Like what was the actual,
I think it was officially video editor, even though I did a lot of like photography and video work. But my main thing I did there was a Transworld motocross film called The Flow, and that was like my, you know, every year they did a, you know, a Transworld movie, and then the year I got hired, they're like, yeah, I don't think the budget's in there to do a movie. I'm like, well, let me do it. Like I was always looking forward to these movies, so we got the budget together, and then I was able to do it, and that was when I learned how you know, check spelling when you render before you render, because like you'd render out like this hour-long film, and then all of a sudden you mess up in the credits someone's name, and you're like, fuck, I gotta re-render everything. And I'm sure you this.
Fucking
and
damn it.
you watch these videos so many times, so by the time it goes public, you're like, oh,
yeah,
all right,
kind of like with it. Is it did you direct it then?
Okay.
How did it work?
Yeah, I don't think Don's watching this, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I feel like I put everything together, and then he just put me in there as editor. So
son of a bitch.
Yeah, he was the editor in chief, so he took the credit for sure. So
damn.
But I like to feel like that was my film. But
is it, where do you watch it?
It's
now?
on iTunes. I believe.
Is it on iTunes?
Yeah, I think it's on iTunes still, or I don't know if it's out there still, because with the company now, like I think being gone, I don't know who that went to, but. Yeah. Is it
what was your process in making that at that time? Because like, how much experience did you already have? Like,
I had no experience in making a film.
You just sending it, like trying to figure out what.
And that was actually super cool, because I had always wanted to do like a helicopter shoot before drones. So
did it?
Yeah, so we got a helicopter, and it's so funny.
They let this dude with no experience, like, yeah, you want a helicopter shoot?
No. Well, that's just what you needed to do to capture, fast action and aerial stuff. And I'm like, I've always seen like, all the old films with, guys hang out in the helicopter film, and I'm like, oh, that's so sick. So like, the amount of money, it costs to get a helicopter, you could buy a dope ass, Inspire, and just have like all the angles coverage. And the thing about having a helicopter is you have like such a short time, like an hour, and then you have to also include travel time to get the helicopter there. So so I was just stoked to have that. But looking back on it, I'm like, man, I really wish drones were popular back then, because you can fly it, get some cool shots. And then also I had a Steadicam, so like the footage wasn't the smoothest, but it was still good. But,
so you were shooting and doing everything.
Yeah.
You didn't have like a team of videographers
like
and stuff?
my boss at the time, Don, he helped shoot like a second angle.
Yeah.
But it was just us two pretty much filming some stuff.
That's crazy.
And I had that FS 700 at the time.
Shit. Shout out.
Those built-in ND
NDs
filters.
were clutch as fuck. Those are the cameras, bro.
Yeah.
They
it had such a terrible monitor.
I know. I mean, it was like.
Did you ever have it with the weird cone that like zoomed up the eyepiece?
Did it flip out though?
The LED popped up, and then you could put this attachment on it, so you could like.
Look into it. Nah, because I would like take it from my college, and I don't think they were into accessories.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it was, but that was like my step up after I had like the 70.
Right.
Because the 70 had that 60 frames at like 720.
Yeah.
And I'm like, slow motion, here we come.
Yeah, it was fucking my selling point on that one.
And then Twixter came out, and I'm like, Jesus.
Oh yeah, you probably went crazy.
Oh yeah, you know the original GoPro videos where it's just like sell, like the song they had in all of them. But the FS700 was like the 1080 at I think 120 frames. No, 240.
Was it?
Yeah, it was 1080 at 240 frames second.
Damn.
But you only had a 7 second of record time.
Oh right.
Yeah. So most of the film that we had for the Moto was all like just slow motion, because fucking the Art of Flight ruined my slow motion filming abilities.
Dude, when that film came out,
oh yeah, it changed the game.
It changed the fucking
for
game.
Action sports, definitely.
It was incredible. I mean, just in general, cinematography like that. What was? Picture this.
You know, Brain Farm apparently is no longer.
Yeah, they closed. The dude who directed that?
Kurt Morgan.
Yeah, Kurt. He said he's down to get lunch with me. I was like, tight.
Oh yeah,
it was random.
I've never met him, but
yeah, he was down. I was like, oh, I want to get you on this.
When I heard that ended, I'm like, damn, like I loved Brain Farm.
I think they spent too much money.
Well, I don't know if it was that. I don't know what caused what, but I know the second film that they had didn't, I think, live up to the Art of Flight. The fourth phase.
It was like what movie was it? I can't think of what it was called.
The fourth phase.
The fourth phase.
Yeah. I think it was just bad snow conditions too.
Yeah.
But no, Art of Flight, dude. Phantom Flex 4K.
Shit was nuts.
Yeah.
I remember Brain Farm was like they had like this. It was like a video. It was like $80,000, or it was like a $200,000 flying camera or something. And they had like this massive hex. With the truck flying through the water. Yeah. I was like, oh my god, that's fucking sick.
Hey, were you a Vimeo or a YouTube kid growing up?
As far as uploading,
like just watching content.
I was Vimeo when I was in my artsy, I want to be a filmmaker phase, and YouTube was after, I would say. Because before that, it wasn't even YouTube and Vimeo. It was like some random ass website, like eBombs World and all this shit, is where you consume content. But like nothing, you know what I mean? Like YouTube was like, I would go to it, but you had to know what you were looking for, kind of. But then Vimeo is like, oh, fuck, I can like learn about real movie making shit on here. Like, this is it.
Yeah, my first video I uploaded was to YouTube, but then I quickly went to Vimeo. I don't know why, but I started watching all my content there, and I should have probably put it all on YouTube at the time so I can actually like make ads from it. But
I didn't even understand that was a possibility.
Oh,
like
no, that wasn't really even a thought until I got like the ask, like, hey, you want to run ads on your videos now? I'm
right.
Like, oh,
yes.
But yeah, if I would have kept at that in like 2010 era, who knows what
I know, dude.
What my channel would
I say that all the time. I'm
Exactly.
like, I should have I look at that old footage and I literally was like, yo, we're here doing this shit. I'm like,
yeah.
fuck, this is what Jake Paul got famous for.
My first video on YouTube I ever posted was me jumping into the foam pit and crawling across it. Just because, I don't know if you've ever been inside a foam pit.
No, I want to be.
It's exhausting.
I bet.
And it's like, you get foam everywhere, but it's the dumbest video. It's like just me jumping in and straight across. Yeah.
My first video it's called Brad Snowboards Naked. I think it's no longer public, but it was my homie Brad. It's so low quality, but like we set up 2 picnic tables and we just set up like a ramp so we could like shred it on snowboards, and we would just sit there and do different shit on it. And he just like went butt naked, had this massive bush. And so all you see is just this like fucking pixelated bush. And then I was like, the cops are coming. And he just grabbed his snowboard and was butt naked running from like this hill to hide behind. Yeah, a lot of views though. It had like 10,000 views. It was pretty good. I don't know. Might be some weird child shit going on with that, because I think we were maybe 18. I hope. From my friend Brad naked.
Totally.
So,
Yeah.
but it was I think like watching those films, specifically me, I'm so obsessed with snowboarding. I remember watching Picture This. Do you remember that?
No, it sounds so familiar.
It was like to me it was like they're using like jibs and cranes and like you know what I mean, like they're really taking it to another level with production. I'm like, dude, how do they sit there and like the snowboarder has to be that good to be able to, for them to set up and wait for that shit and get that shot. Like it's so incredible, and that shit inspired me like a motherfucker when I was watching. Then I was like, I'm gonna be a snowboarding filmmaker someday, and that's all I wanted to do.
Oh yeah.
And then
it's crazy how when you like see a dope edit, you're like, yeah, you even use the same song sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna play this, you know.
Yeah.
See if I can inspire it. I'm drawing a blank on the dude's name, but the Mutiny BMX bikes, I think it was Joe Simon was their filmer, but that was the first time I ever found out what a glide cam was.
Oh really?
Because like, you know, he did a shot where he is following the guy riding his bike and he goes over grass, and I'm like, dude, is he on a skateboard? Like how the hell is he like going across the grass?
Yeah.
And then they had like a second angle shot of him with like the glide cam walk, you know, the awkward like
Right.
yeah. And I'm like, what the hell is that thing? And I had like the Glycam HD 4000 for like the Sony and stuff. But yeah, dude, it's just crazy how technology evolves and just like seeing what's the next thing out there.
Totally.
The next thing I really want to play with is definitely like, you know, Cineflex, just like the whole.
Be so cool. It's so dope.
Just put on a helicopter and just go have fun with it.
And that's why I felt like Brain Farm was taking shit, because they would always be. I remember they had like a video of they had that hooked up, like they had the whole rig hooked up to a truck, and they could like they were like a mile away or some shit, and they had this insane zoom
perfectly
lens,
stabilized
of deer running. And I'm like, what? Like the truck was moving, the deer were running, they were framed up, they're all just sitting in the car like controlling it with the thing. And I'm like, this is insane. Like this is literally insane.
Dude, camera, dude. It's just like, I think I was telling you too, like my Red, you know, I bought that and then like it's 4 years old and it's already outdated.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
4 years is not that fucking long.
It like still films 5K, you know, 96 frames a second, 4K 120, but like, you know, 8K is the new thing now.
Yeah. It's just insane that they like don't make the parts to like if something happens.
Yeah, the Epic Mysterium is what I have, and like, yeah, apparently you can't get any parts to fix it.
That's insane. When you, I mean,
it still works, but yeah.
Was it like making that investment? What was like your thought process when you decided to invest in that camera?
It could have been watching Art of Flight, dude, and just seeing everyone with Red cameras. I'm like, man, that footage looks so sick. Obviously, they're shooting it, you know, in cool environments and stuff. But I had bought that when I was at Transworld, so I was living at home at the time, so I could afford to like save up.
Oh, that's clutch.
So, you know, I pretty much took my like money I made at Transworld and like bought the camera, and I'm like, oh sweet. But the crazy thing about that, how like everyone always asks me like, do you need to have good gear to get like, you know, get into the industry? And yes and no, but the moment I did get that Red, I got so many more job opportunities just because people just saw, oh, you have a Red camera. You could have been the shittiest filmer ever, but if you had a camera, for some reason people were like, oh yeah, he's good, I'll hire him.
I see a lot of shitty videos and you know it, that's what happened. Was like, oh, he's great, we need it. everyone like it cut costs obviously to be able to hire like a DP with their own red or you know what I mean. But sometimes it's weird how we choose.
It could do a lot with color grading it too.
Yeah,
because you can make crappy footage or really good footage look bad if you just don't color it right.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Are you pretty good with coloring?
I've gotten all right at it. If it's a big shoot, I'd prefer to like not do it. If I have a lot of detail to work with, you know what I mean? And because you can just do so much dope shit, and these people that do color for a living, like they color for a living for a reason, you know what I mean? Like, but I've gotten good at. I like editing my own photos and video. I can do it if it's like I've gotten good at using the A7S, A7R, like that image and being able to play with it. But what about you?
I just use, Lumetric and Premiere, but I should probably get into something a little nicer, DaVinci and stuff.
I've always wanted to. It's like a fucking...
But then you need the whole wheels and you need to dial it in. But that's the next step. But that's, I think, the biggest thing in my career that I learned too is like the bigger the projects, the less you start doing on everything because you start hiring people who can do their job really good. Yeah. And trusting like, oh yeah, you're really good at sound.
Right.
Perfect. Right. I don't need to be like monitoring it over there or...
No, that's very true. I mean, which is cool because then you get to you build friends in the industry, so then you can start hiring the people you fuck with, or just hiring really dope talent, that can do this shit for a living. But so Transworld was how long? How long were you there for?
A year and a half officially. Yeah. I left because I kept getting in trouble for as much as they have like every different genre of sports, most of the crew kind of stuck to their genre. Like Moto was only Moto, maybe the Moto and BMX. So like they stuck together. Right. Surf, skate, and snow stuck together. And like I had a lot of surf friends, skate friends, so I would like go off and do that. And as well, like after my work, go shoot some of the homie skating. And there was one opportunity where Transworld Surf wanted me to go to like Bali to shoot an athlete of theirs that I had a good relationship with, and I could only go because the father of the athlete trusted me to like be with him. Just long story. So like I had to go ask my boss like, hey, can I go to Bali to shoot this? And he's like, oh no. I'm like, I'm all caught off my work. Long story short, he's like, you need to go to Glen Helen and San Bernardino and like shoot that. So I'm like, damn, like there was my opportunity to go to tropical water and stuff. So a couple weeks later after that, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go do my own thing. Yeah. And then right after I had left, actually, that was when Kel's Machine Gun Kelly was like, hey, I'm going on tour with Limp Bizkit. Do you want to come on tour with me? So that was literally probably like a week after I left.
Fucking insane timing.
Yeah, no, it was definitely good timing for sure. Like, I had known him for already like a year and a half before then.
From like the sports world?
Yeah, like 𝐅𝐀𝐕𝐎𝐑𝐈𝐓𝐄 is like a brand that kind of like shaped me to meeting everybody too. They just have an insane roster of people. Yeah. Like Louis on the team, and just you can go on for days. And Ryan Sheckler and Kells really wanted to like meet. And I went with them together when they met the first time in Newport for like their show. And since then we stay in contact, and I was stoked to go on tour, and I didn't know what to expect, dude. Like living on the road,
it's different.
Oh, dude, it's
I mean, especially with Wazzy was on the show not too long ago, and like Jordan's. I'm like, yo, tour is different, but the artist you guys are picking to go on tour with is mega different because he fucking goes off,
dude. He lives the lifestyle. Great dude. It's just crazy, dude. I got stories for days, and it's something I'm super glad I got to experience because, not that many people can say I feel like anything you can throw at me, I'll be like, not did that, but yep, I was around that, or just anything you can talk about. Right. Like I've seen it now. I feel like, and it just becomes kind of numb when you're on tour because you see everything.
It's fucking crazy.
It's cool. It's definitely it was a fun experience, and yeah, dude. Definitely.
So you did the whole tour?
I did. I forget how many tours exactly. I think it was 3 or 4.
Oh wow!
It went for I think 2-3 years on the road.
That's a good run.
Yeah, did all Europe. It's just cool to be able to go to Russia and then
right.
Just like where else am I gonna be here?
Yeah.
And and just being in and I don't really know music that well. So I think also my outside look on things is always appreciative because I'm just just genuine about it. Like, oh, that's cool, or I just don't get that.
Right.
So
that's interesting. Do you feel like? I mean, at the time, was that became your full time? You were full time with?
Oh yeah,
him?
As you can agree. Like when you're on a row with someone, that's your 24/7 job.
Yeah, you can't have other clients.
You're up all day till 5 a.m. Wake up at 8-9 a.m. to do the next day. Yeah.
it's a brutal schedule. But I always say tours like life freezes outside of tour.
Oh yeah, you just live on that bus. And like when I was on tour with Kells and everyone, you know, it was one bus, 12 dudes, we're all on the same bus. So like, you know, you don't get like time to get away from anybody. Like it's family.
Yeah.
And you know, and since I hadn't like lived on my own yet at the time when I was a kid, so like that was like my first that was like my college experience.
Right.
I feel like. So
that was
like
a tight ass college experience.
Dude, it was definitely a wild ride for sure.
Because you said you've only been on one other podcast, which was Dingo's. What's it called? What's the show called?
Actually, no. It's Find Your Grind is kind of
Find Your Grind.
This podcast. I don't know what the official title of the podcast will be. It comes out pretty soon.
Oh, it's new.
Yeah, he just started. So he's been doing a lot of different like entrepreneurial type of people.
That's dope.
Talking about their experience. So it should be coming out pretty soon.
But it was cool how you were talking about his advocate for his company is like Find Your Grind. So I'm assuming he didn't go to college.
No, yeah,
and
no.
He's
well, you know, like ex-snowboarder, you know, entrepreneur, started, you know, Grenade gloves and stuff. And
yeah.
then, like, so yeah.
That was like my favorite snowboarding glove, by the way.
Dude, the logo was dope.
It was so dope.
Yeah.
It was so dope. But like so you were just on there and you guys were talking about like having not come from college. What was your decision to not do that? It was just because everything kind of picked up so fast?
Yeah, from the moment I had met Jared, like when I was 18, and he's like 𝐀𝐕𝐎𝐑𝐈𝐓𝐄 my sold my couple photos. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do this for a living.
Right.
Obviously, like my parents wanted me to go to college just to like any other family, you know, parents, they want what's best for you. And my brother went to like UCLA, you know, did the whole college, but it just wasn't in the cards for me.
Right. No,
I tried a junior college for like a semester, and I got put on academic probation because I just missed too much class because I was usually off on a trip,
right,
filming something. So
damn.
Yeah, after that I'm like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah, fuck the shit.
Yeah. And then thankfully with YouTube and Google, man, you can learn wherever you want, and it's always some kid in a foreign country like teaching you some like shortcut that you never knew existed, and you're like,
yeah,
you're like, how did he know this? And
I know.
I'm now just learning it.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. And it's like a lot of the like my first ever episode on this was with Justin Odisho, who has a tutorial channel. Like that's all he does, and he's like a fucking wizard at Premiere, wizard with the shit in Photoshop. And I'll catch myself like looking his shit up, like, oh, I'm in Germany and I'm editing and I need to find something, and his video is like the first thing that's popping up. I'm like, what the hell? And then I'm watching, but he doesn't do like, he's not doing industry shit. He lives in Detroit. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Like, but he's like he just lives in the program so much and knows how to like regurgitate that back to an audience, which I think is so dope. But it's like YouTube University is a real ass fucking thing. You know what I mean? You just have to be a good researcher, really. That's all it comes down to.
Dude, I can't imagine going through school having like the internet, because like when we had like, not that outdated, but like the Razor flip phone, like I was afraid to go on the internet. It's like the phone bill. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna go on that thing. Like,
I know, right?
It's gonna cost my parents a lot of money at the time.
Get reamed out.
But like now, like if you had a test or anything, you just Google the answer, or like,
right? I don't know what that's like.
Yeah, do the kids just cheat all day and just like?
I don't know, because I remember in college, like when I was like a freshman, the iPod Touch was out there, and it had Wi-Fi, and I was like, oh shit. And then I remember because you could listen to music on your iPod, and the iPod Touch, no one really understood it, and so I would like have pictures of all my notes on here, and I would just be like acting like I'm like listening to music, and I would just like scroll through. Sorry, Mom, but I fucking cheated in that health class or whatever the fuck it was that I didn't learn shit in, obviously, but like that, I remember doing that. Now it's like, it could be on my watch, it could be here, it could be in fucking my sunglasses probably, you know what I mean? People are, tech is so nuts. Growing up would be weird right now.
It would be. But at least we were fortunate to grow up like so that way like we grew up with it, and like we know what analog and like the old shit, the struggle of, you know, signing into AOL and just like seeing how slow it took.
Or just fucking shooting everything, all your stop motion on VHS video, and then seeing how it looked. It's crazy. So I mean, what were some of the highlights of that tour? Like obviously getting to travel the world. You went to Russia?
Yeah.
Kells went to Russia?
Yeah, he's been there a lot since then.
So sick.
Yeah. The year we went there too, it was a crazy year too for Europe, because when we were flying there was like a plane that had just crashed in like Egypt when we were like going there, and then right when we were in Russia leaving, like there was a shooting in Paris at the Eagles of Death metal show. Right. So like I think not that many bands were playing in Europe because they were kind of like I think they're afraid.
They're afraid for sure.
And we were the first American band to perform in France since then. And it was like a week and a half after.
Holy shit.
And it was just cool seeing like the crowd in Paris just like giving, like, they were singing the national anthem, just like thankful that we were there. So it's just cool to like be in just different parts of the world and like learning people's cultures. And
yeah, especially around like pinnacle moments in history. Like that's so crazy to like.
Yeah, it's just it just opens your eyes to the rest of the world. And and like I really wish I learned another language.
I did too. I didn't get to. They exempt me out of it, and I'm not that great of a learner. All right, when it comes to schooling and shit. So they're like, just focus on English, bro. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah, even I was not good in English either.
Yeah,
I was racist. More math than arts.
Really?
Yeah. But yeah, like whenever you go to Europe or anywhere in the rest of the world, everyone knows at least like 3 languages.
Right.
They know theirs, their neighbors, and then English.
Right.
So
I feel so stupid because they'll be like saying something. I'm like, what'd you just say? I'm like, I'm so fucking sorry. I'm like from Iowa and shit, and I definitely don't know how to talk French. I wish I could learn French and Spanish. It's like the two.
I attempted Spanish, but then quickly left, and I took sign language in high school.
Fuck. I tried to take sign language. I was like, why isn't that mandatory? Like
it was cool, dude. It helped us cheat on all of our tests. Me and my friends.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we could just sign like it was good for multiple choice.
Right.
At least you had A, B to C.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would help.
That's so fucking funny.
At least my friend Jason was like the smartest one, so we at least asked him for the answers because you don't want to be asking the friend who you knew was gonna fail.
Right. No, definitely.
But yeah,
I thought I just feel like it's fucked up that these people are born like that and we're not doing anything to communicate. Like, why do we not all know how to communicate? That's not their fault. Mm-hmm. And we have a choice to learn it. Like, it should just be like no different than me having to learn how to fucking run the mile in under 7 minutes. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that
is true.
That's crazy. I think that's nuts.
Yeah.
I don't know. My mom learned, she knew how to sign because she had patience and she has a nurse. Nice. And I was always like, fuck, I want to know how to do that shit. And she did like basic stuff, but
yeah. I love at concerts watching the sign language person.
So tight.
Yeah.
And they go hard too sometimes depending on the artist.
Yeah, the Waka Flocka one that got popular.
Yeah, that shit was tight.
Yeah.
We had one, I always liked watching them whenever Jay-Z was like, he did like PSA. My name is Ho. And the chick's just like, oh, yeah, not going off. I was like, shit, this is tight. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's so dope.
Really sick.
Okay, so you tour, you do all this stuff with him, and I'm sure the footage that you captured throughout that tour is insane. Mm-hmm. That lives in the vault.
It's in the vault for sure. A lot probably won't see the light of day. Maybe at some point, but that's his decision on that.
Right. But I love how we were talking about how you were doing. You had drones early on, and I remember watching this shit living in Iowa because I was fucking inspired. And I was a nerd as fuck with drones, and we were doing the same thing. Like, built a hexacopter, me and my homie Tim, and like the first time I could see an image wired, like a signal sent down to me, I was like, what?
Yeah.
But you were doing that shit with like showing up to new cities, and like, what was your concept for that again?
Yeah, and I kind of learned that from working at Transworld because we had to always document each race every week. So we did like a pre-video, like who do you think's gonna win? And then it was like, all right, live footage, and then it was like a recap video. So going on tour, I'm like, I should do that same mindset. Like each show, let's do a little teaser to like get people to come buy last minute tickets or whatever. Right. So we would do a drone video, and he would always, start up really close with a GoPro lens really wide and be like, hey, we're in so-and-so, see you tonight, and would fly away. And dude, at the time, people did not know how we were doing that. They were like, what, using Google Maps? Yeah. Like, what, how are you getting that shot? And this is
Google Maps shit. Yeah. So tight.
The questions we got in that. So like we started getting a little artsy with that and like, shooting a little wider and then just like doing the digital spin. So it looked like the camera did like a barrel roll and people were like, did you really do a barrel roll and stuff? So like that was kind of that. And then even like, Rob Dyrdek, when Kells came on the show for Ridiculousness, like they did a whole category about that. Cause
really?
He kind of like, it was just a bunch of drone crashes like flying into people's faces.
Yeah.
They said like, yeah, dude, that's what we remember from tour was like,
damn,
seeing that. And that was actually probably one of the, not to say a cool moment, but for sure, like, being around musicians and stuff and like being like in a room with Kells and like even P. Diddy being like, dude, you're a drone operator, dude, like craziest content.
So
like,
tight.
Yeah. So it's just cool being involved in that and then like doing something different that people hadn't like seen yet.
Yeah.
So.
Damn. Were you there when he signed to Bad Boy?
No, I wasn't.
That was before?
That was before.
Right.
Yeah.
Couldn't remember what year that was. Being a part of creating his, that's, I always talk about, like, for me, when I saw your drone videos, that was like right before I moved to LA and was like trying to work with TD and then go on tour with Schoolboy Q. But I remember, like, I told you this earlier, but I was like, I was like, hey, we want you to go on tour with TD and Q and Kendrick and all that stuff. And I was just planning everything in my head. Oh, I'm going to have fucking drone shots. I want to have a drone chase a tour bus. No one's done that. Blah, blah. I'm going to do this, and that. And I scrolled through Instagram or whatever it was. And I remember seeing him post that shit and be like, oh my God, see what I'm talking about? Like, this is it. This is what I'm talking about. And I was like, that's fucking sick. Like, could you imagine getting to be with like a fucking top artist and then create with them? You know what I mean? And that was so inspiring to me. You know what I mean? Seeing that clip. Just the fact that he would listen to you and you guys could get together and create something from scratch, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, Kel's, dude, he's just really artistic, man. Like we think a lot alike on that side of things, like movie buffs and just like love pushing the element. And usually I feel like it's one-sided, but like it was definitely a collaborative effort on everything, like bouncing ideas off each other.
Right.
Yeah, dude.
He had his movie poster on a billboard on Sunset.
Yep.
So me and Waz, he like hit me. He's like, could you get a drone shot of it? And we went there, and I was like, yo, the only way you can get on top of this building is this like chained up, blocked ladder that you couldn't climb up. It's just like you had to unlock something that would reveal it. And he's like, oh, I don't give a fuck. I'll climb that shit. And he just scaled this fucking thing. Like, scaled this shit, went up on the building, climbed up onto the billboard. I like hopped up, got the drone up there, got this ill-ass shot. And it's like, there's actually like, I haven't even posted it, but it's like a cool shot of him kind of like looking at himself. And
was it in the video that he posted? Like
yeah, but I think he didn't do it in, like the slow motion version of it was like kind of hard to me. Like it was just like, damn, that's dope. Like what a fucking feeling to like have a movie on Netflix and you're playing Tommy Lee and you're looking at the Tommy Lee version of, you know what I mean? But you also did something very illegal to get the shot.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Speaking of that, dude, that was a perfect role for him.
Just that role?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was perfect. Like,
he killed it.
I thought it was fucking fun. That movie was fun. It was just like super fun to see it. Like, and I remember when he got the role, because we were talking to him about working on a project together. And then he was like, he had just said like, oh, dude, I just tried out for this shit. And I think Waz was there and ended up filming it all or whatever. And he had just told us about how he's like, they liked me and they want me to be in this thing. And then all of a sudden it's like, and it's all over Netflix and shit. It was so cool.
Yeah.
But so going back to that, like the Kelly Visions, being a part of that, because that also inspired me. Like,
but that was something he started. He
Yeah.
started just filming himself and making the episodes. But that definitely grew crazy with the fans. Like, they love those videos. And I think any fan loves seeing what their artist that they look up to is doing, like, on a day-to-day.
Right.
And Kel's really open about a lot of this stuff, too. So, like, filming all sorts of different things and sharing that with the world. So it's always, you know, you got to, when you're filming that, you're always, like, trying to be careful of, like, you know, this is, like, personal stuff. Like, how am I going to showcase this in a good way?
Right.
But keep it authentic and like, keep it that way. So it's hard to keep up with the demand of like those videos though, because his fans like want a video constantly, and with all the other stuff that you're working on too, to try like turn around a video as well.
That's what I was gonna say. What was your approach for deliverables like on that tour? Like, I know you said you have these pre-video, you're trying to match.
I don't know if there was.
Transworld.
I don't think there was ever like a set deliverables. It was just like there was never a limit. When you did something cool, it was like, all right, let's keep that up and let's add more.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was never like just like this was it and we're good at this. It was always like, what can we do, and keep pushing it. And I actually miss being on tour like that, because every day we were creating.
Yeah.
It's like new city, new environment. Let's go shoot photo. Let's go film. And you know, not saying now I don't do that, but now it's more like proposals and decks and stuff. But yeah, I enjoyed waking up and just capturing content.
Sky's the limit when it comes to that type of shit. Yeah, it's a really different. You miss it all the time, and then but you also love doing what you're doing now. Yeah. And artists, I mean, just the truth is the money is fucking not there when it's with an artist. It's not bad, but it's not fucking gonna set you up for retirement. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to like kind of play both cards. But shit, when you're not on tour for a while and you some time hop thing pops up and it's like, this is what you were doing last year. I'm like, fuck, dude, we were really riding jet skis in this random ass ocean fucking France.
First time I ever went snowmobiling was with the guys. We were in Edmonton, Canada.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Yeah, it was deep snow.
Yeah. That's like real snowmobiling.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, it was cool.
Were you filming it?
We have some GoPro footage of it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Batteries die so quick.
I realized, man, cold is cold when you're like moving too and snowflakes are hitting you. And I don't have proper like snow attire either. Like I don't own any real stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when you're in minus 14 degrees Fahrenheit or whatever it was Celsius.
So cold.
Yeah.
Fuck. So then when, you know, you kind of decide, when did you decide to part ways with Kels? Like you did so many tours? I mean, that's like a good chunk of time. 3 years?
Yeah, it was a good amount. It's just, I can't even be honest, like how it went part way. It was more just like I started getting more like corporate and, you know, brand deals personally that, you know, brands were like, hey, we need you to go do this and do that for us.
Because they're seeing the content you were making on tour?
I think it was a little bit of social related too. Like I started building a following and creative content where, you know, brands wanted me to be an ambassador for them. Right. And, you know, I had to go to set number of events for them and make appearances and stuff, which is weird for me being behind the camera. Right. But, you know, with my reach, being able to target people, you know, they see value in that. And obviously I see the value in it too. Right. And then, then, you know, it was crazy, but we're still great friends and I was down to help out. But yeah, now it's more focused on like working on, you know, full length end-to-end campaigns for brands. And, you know, with my social background and like actually showing that what I do actually works. Yeah. They're more open to like working with me. Cause like, oh yeah, like, you know what you're talking about. Like,
on multiple levels versus just like creating the content, but then also delivering the content to an audience. So what was like some of the first jobs that you had coming up, breaking away from touring and shit? Like
Audi reached out to me a good amount of times to, you know, do content for them. And that was always fun. So it's like, here's a car for the weekend and, you know, produce, you know, just whatever you want to do. Right. And, you know, pay was good. And then it kept growing to other things. And then you're like, oh shit. Like, and, you know, tour is great. But when you're on tour, you're 24/7. Man. And, you know, it's exhausting.
It is exhausting.
But, you know, and then that kind of led to people actually signing me. So when I got signed to, you know, like American Express and Samsung, like those are like brands that like are huge and they're like, oh, we want you to be on the team. Yeah. So
that's so sick.
Yeah.
So I remember you started saying that shit and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And it's a small world too. Even like my Samsung deal, it came from, you know, Kels' manager at the time, best friend, you know, ran all of Samsung entertainment stuff. And, you know, I got deals through relationships and stuff. So like, it's crazy how small the world gets smaller. Yeah. And obviously like touring like opened a lot of doors to me. Yeah. And, you know, I got my foot into, you know, people who can make deals happen. So that kind of led to that. And then, you know, like recently just got signed to Delta. So like,
so tight.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like I look back at it as like my friends who are pro athletes, they have like their Red Bull helmet and like their stickers on it. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, like I would love to have that. And now I have my Pelican case with like my stickers on it. Yeah. I'm like, all right, cool.
Well, even your Instagram is now your helmet. You know what I mean? Like
it is. Yeah, exactly.
And that's a dope way to look at it because all you ever wanted as a kid was like be a sponsored athlete by whoever. Like, oh God, if I could have a Red Bull shirt or something, that'd be so cool. Not like I paid for it, but they gave it to me because I'm repped. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And like, but being a camera guy, you never even thought that was possible. And with social and now content creation and like that being like a career path for kids, like, yeah.
Hey guys, just want to stop this episode real quick to talk to you about our How to Charge a Client guide. This is the Bible for how you can get more money working with your clients. I've been in this shit for over 10 years. I've worked with clients big and small, projects big and small, and decided we needed to pack these ideas and things I've learned into a guide and make it bang. So we did that, and it bangs motherfucking hard. I promise you that. Everyone that's purchased it so far has hit me with incredible reviews. So thank you guys for getting it and reading it. And I'm hoping that you guys are increasing your rates because you should. So if you are interested in getting that, it's on patreon.com/blackwindowcream, or you can buy it on our shop BWNC.com. Both places available. You just get a few more perks if you get it on our Patreon page. And we hope you check it out. Excited to hear what you think. And let's get back to this episode right now. The possibilities are endless with it. Is it like, so when you did your first deal, what does that look like for you? Is it just kind of like outlining, they mainly want you to come to events or create content for them, or what's like a typical deal like that, or how would you try it? I don't know. I guess if I'm listening to this and I want to try to get in that world, how do I go about trying to land deals like that, aside from knowing dope people?
Yeah, no, it's all about, showing value and why you should be there and like what you're bringing to the table.
Right.
Because a lot of the people that they do just talk about, for instance, like that are on the team are usually like, a model or some celebrity figure. And, they usually just take a selfie or just take some simple photo. And what I usually bring value to is that I can like amplify that content by going there. I'll capture a video for them and like create a GIF or a cool video or photos that will be better than just your normal thing.
Right.
So that's where like my value comes in, is that like I'll co-create just something that's different that gets people's attention. So that way when that brand repurposes it as an ad, it's more like naturally and it doesn't feel too like branded.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, that's really cool. What is that? Oh, that's so-and-so's ad.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like that. And that's like, Ari is really good with like creating ads type of videos, but they don't feel like ads.
Yeah.
So
It's a machine.
oh yeah.
This shit's fucking wild, huh?
Oh yeah.
Do you know Cash Bunny?
No, I haven't. I know he works with her a lot, or she works with him and stuff.
I think she's getting on here on Tuesday. I'm
Okay.
excited. We just we went with Jada Pinkett Smith to like a movie awards or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just dope watching other people do what they're good at, and it's so sick how they've figured out how to conquer like the most minimal amount of time and then make that like the illest asset.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they'll literally do something that's like 30 seconds with the talent, and then the video is like gets 10 million views.
Well, when the video is only 4 seconds long, it loops. It looks better too.
Yeah,
So-
it does.
And that's something you can do if you can seamlessly make your videos re-loop again. You just zone out. And
Yeah.
there's been so many times people are like, I watched your video probably for like at least a minute before
Yeah.
I realized it's been doing the same thing.
Right.
I'm like, oh yeah.
That's when you know you're doing a good job at making loops and shit.
Exactly.
Is it when you do deals with those brands, is it something where they're hoping that they're gonna get a deliverable that they can use on their social, or do they think like maybe it will only work on your platform with your layout and that whole style to it?
Oh no, like my layout is just what I do for my own stuff. And like as you notice how some of them open up and play a video, the client or brand will just post that video without the thumbnail.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So it's essentially the same thing. It's just they can reuse it however they want it to.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah.
How weird is that? Like, did you have to transition, like, to build confidence to be kind of the front man now to your identity of a brand or whatever? Like, in the content that you deliver to them, is it a video about whatever it is, or are you playing like a character in your content? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, if you did something with Delta tomorrow, is it like you riding in an airplane and you're happy and yada yada?
It's open to like whatever I guess is just cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, they always like just like the typical like stock imagery that they can use for just like generic use.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, I don't like to be in front of the camera. But the more and more that these deals happen, I need to be in the camera, like doing it. But I've never really been the type of selfie talker. Like, hey, check me out. I'm here and here. But I don't see them asking that much for that. Like, that's not like a requirement. But they definitely like when I show face and like show that I'm doing things.
Right. That's tight. I don't know. I just love this space so much, like as a creator, and then obviously like we've followed very similar paths, I guess. And just now knowing the capability of like what you can do on a social level and like how valuable that is to a client or whatever, but then also trying to prove your value to them is like a whole nother game. Like, what are some of the approaches that you take when you're trying to provide? You clearly have value, but you have to tell them that. Do you have to teach them that you have value versus, say it's fucking Adidas or whoever, and they're gonna hire an agency and they're gonna spend millions of dollars on this, and they make one little asset that's just like performs terribly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How do you show the division between you versus someone like that?
Yeah. When you start working with brands like that, or for anyone who's working on stuff, is just like writing things down is definitely a good start, because you need to be able to explain to the client where their money's going and what the return looks like. And if you can prove to them, like from start to finish, the whole campaign or project, that when we start and by the end, you're going to see this return in revenue or clicks or in likes. If it all ends up that way, then that's great. So kind of learning how to write proposals and budget breakdowns are probably like the best advice I could give someone who's trying to take their career to the next level.
Right.
Because you can always do like small one-off things, but when you get to a level where, they're entrusting you with their full lineup or their new product and they want something that they're used to, like you said, that agency level, then you definitely got to start bringing that in.
Yeah. What kind of tips could you give someone that's listening? Like, you do need to, you got in the room. Now you do need to go back and shoot them some sort of idea and budget breakdown, like how do you show? Is it more so, in your opinion, here's all of the line items of like things that we're going to give you, and this is how it will perform? Are you telling them how it will perform?
Oh, that's like it's multiple stages. Like obviously you go in with the grand scheme idea of like, this is what we want to do and this is how it's going to work. And then you present them like different ideas of how it could work. And they're like, you pitch that, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, we really like 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you're like, all right. So then you go rework and you go in another presentation with them on like exactly now in depth more with a price like breakdown, like
right,
because it's hard to gauge budgets obviously when the client doesn't know what they want yet, and when they see it, then you're like, all right, this is how we can put this team together,
right?
Because if you just present them with all the numbers up front on the first pass, you don't know what they're going to want or what they don't want. So
yeah,
just a lot of wasting of time if you're trying to put everything together for them.
Right. Is it do you do how big are your crews typically when you go and shoot stuff? Because I know you shoot and you can edit and you can do everything on your own. What do you see?
It totally ranges in size for sure, and it can go from myself up to 20 to 25 people. Is usually like the range for sure. More of a smaller boutique, and but yeah, that's when you start have to invest in other people that can do their job well, because you can't do everything by yourself.
Right. How do you find people that you like to work with?
Just kind of like how you mentioned too, just being in this industry, you come across people who are talented that just recommendations. I have a good friend, Aaron, who's like a producer, and he came in the same similar space, and he's got like an arsenal of people that like, if I'm like looking for someone, he's like, oh yeah, use this dude. He's a great DP or whatever.
Right.
So just kind of being in the space and being around it, but it all comes down to what the project is needed for. Right. And be like, oh, we don't need this, then all right, let's go get this person.
Totally.
instead.
Is Aaron who I met last?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Samsung event.
Yeah, super nice dude. Yeah, we went. He invited me to the Samsung event for the 10th birthday of the Galaxy.
Yeah, Galaxy turned 10. So it's
10
been
years old. It was a super vibe, neon super vibe, which was dope. And then you had us hop in. The video's super cool, but we just hopped in this room and they had like confetti and silly string and all that shit, and we just like got sprayed by stuff. But the video was pretty tight.
Yeah, just showcasing. And that's what I love about my Samsung partnership, is that like when I go on shoots, I just bring my phone. I don't have to bring like any other camera gear. And it's also hard for me because it's like a challenge too, because I'm like, how can I get the best shot with this phone? Luckily it has all the cool like ISO and manual focus and features for it, so it's pretty close to like a real camera. But when I have to like shoot so and so that's like in a movie, and I'm just there with my phone, and like I'm paid to be there, and like they're looking at me like I'm a fan.
Yeah.
And I'm like trying to shoot them, and they're like, is this for you? Like, who is this kid? And then everyone's like, oh no, he's like with Samsung and stuff. So yeah,
that's like the worst. That's the worst thing. It's such a powerful tool, having a phone. I just have an iPhone. Sorry, dog, but lace me up with that Samsung deal, and I'll switch right now.
There you go.
Which one is this?
The S10.
Let me see it. Yeah. So when you are shooting, this is super. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I like these things too. But when I'm shooting on set or whatever, like, I don't know, it's like hard, especially when you start working with new talent or something, and all of a sudden my camera might be in the other room, and that will cost me missing the shot if I don't go grab it, just because I happen to be going to catering real quick to grab a coffee, and then something happens and I switch out and grab my phone, and then people are like, yo, no, what the this is why. It's just another tool. Like, people look at it. So I don't know, it's so interesting, the stigma of using a phone to capture content, but I get it because everyone has one. But
what do they say? The best camera is the camera that you have on you.
Yes.
So
yes.
Yeah, and that's something I had. I have another Instagram account called Lost My Camera, and it's essentially supposed to be. It's so hard to be consistent with this, and I'm sorry for everyone who follows me on that I don't post enough. But every day I took a photo just from my phone, and I would share it. It's just kind of showing that you didn't need to have a nice camera. Yeah. As long as you're just out there and getting creative, you can take cool photos. Right. But it's just hard to like I set the level for myself so high where I'm like, oh, that's a good photo. Oh, that's a good photo. And then it was a bad day. I'm like, I don't want to share that photo. So
yeah, I feel it.
Personal of like, man, I only want to post good stuff. I don't want to post like a bad photo.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's crazy with the technology and like, 5-6 years ago, phones, were all right. And, even back then, 10-15 years ago.
Trash.
Oh, yeah. When I've like even somehow archived some of my old phone footage, I don't know what file format they're in, but it's like the crappiest.
The worst shit.
Quality.
Yeah.
It was at Warp Tour, some like old footage from like flip phones. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, back then I thought that was the coolest thing ever. The footage,
was.
watching it on your phone again.
Yeah.
But when you look at it now, you're like, I don't know what resolution that was.
Right.
It could have been like 50 pixels by 50 pixels, man. It was like,
So garbage.
but for some reason, I thought that was like the coolest footage ever.
I'm rewatching Entourage right now, and it's so funny because like throughout, like now in the season, it's like you can tell at what season like shooting on your phone became a thing, and it's like someone had like a flip phone, they're capturing something. Oh shit, my light's on. And Turtle is like, I don't remember what camera it was, but I remember it came out as like a brick thing that looked like an iPod, but it was to shoot video, and he's just like walking around filming stuff for his like tequila stuff, and it was like the
I
way
know what you're talking about. It was a weird chocolate bar that had like the screen on it of the camera.
I can't think of what the brand was, but I remember how dope those were, and I was like, oh shit, and he's just like walking around filming it, and it's so funny that now everything is just in one device. You know what I mean? Like, so convenient. And like Pokey, shout out to Pokey, he came through to help me film this shit today. They just submitted a film that they'd shot. Were you in that?
Yes.
You acted in it. My homie Sean directed it, and Matt DP'd it, but like they all shot it on the iPhone black and white, and then submitted it to it, and it got picked up at a festival or whatever. And it's sick. Like, you can make whole films. You know what I mean? Fucking sick. One of my friends did an entire movie with a GoPro in 2 takes. Like it's a feature film, and he did it in 2 takes. They cut one time, and it was like when he jumped in the river.
One continuous shot.
Yeah, it was one continuous shot. They like went to this small ass town and somehow were able to like choreograph the entire thing. It's pretty wild. I don't know how the fuck you do that shit.
But like quick cut transitions behind like a wall or anything?
No.
Oh, okay.
I know, and
like,
I looked for it, and he was serious about it. I was like, holy shit. And it's like, it's all mounted through, it was like the character's point of view, and it's like a helmet
classic POV GoPro shots
the whole time. But it was before people were doing like these Call of Duty like videos and shit, like trying to make it look like that. But like it was interesting. It was really cool. And he like jumps in a river and he like drowns or whatever, and like comes back up, and like that. I think that's when they made their first cut, but it's only because the battery couldn't last.
Yeah,
they like had to deal with like however long the power chargers on the helmet could last. It was pretty interesting. But anyway, so now that you have your company, when did you design that? You said 2017?
Yeah, 17 I would say. Yeah.
And was the goal just to kind of start building, I don't know, just a bigger look than beyond your name, or what, just to kind of have something to run everything under? Yeah,
I think with the opportunities I was given personally with these brands, obviously, how I have my foot in the door with these major companies, that I should now have a team behind me, so that way there's a lot of projects that I was getting that I had to turn down just because I couldn't be in every place at once.
Right. It's a great problem.
It's a great problem to have. It's just like, why I say no to some things when you have a bunch of creators who can do good stuff.
Totally.
So I'm always open to like, there's a lot of young talent that like I like to like take care of and like help them, and like so many people help me out too. So like if I have an opportunity that I can give them work. So I kind of formed 2 of my good friends are partner in the company. They come from good backgrounds. One was over at GoPro, Andy, and then Jared was over at Saatchi & Saatchi. So like he had the agency side, and my other friend Annie had the marketing company side of GoPro. So together we started Lightwork, and then from there it just kind of like grew to, just agency stuff. So
a super dope name. Lightwork's a tight ass name.
Finding names is the most difficult thing ever. Like even Black with no cream, dude.
Yeah.
Like
people think I'm racist. They do all the time.
Well, no, just anything. Everything's taken now on the internet. Like
Hell
every domain name, LLC, anything you can think of, you can type in anything and it'll say, "Oh, taken somehow." So when we came up with Lightwork, I thought that was gonna be taken right away, but no,
it wasn't.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, so we got that. Except one kid on Instagram has it, and
motherfucker.
He won't budge on that.
It's an Easter egg, or does he actually have like a little?
He barely uses it. It's like,
I hate that.
Yeah. As long as they're inactive for a year, you could get it from somebody.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So if you see a username that's been if they haven't posted within a year, you could contact Instagram and get it.
Wow, that's pretty clutch.
Yeah.
I have blackwindowcream.com that was totally available right away. And then BWNC.com, because it's all like, it's just a 4-letter domain. It was for sale for like $3,500. I was trying to like be like, hey, I have this idea and it's gonna be great, and I have no money obviously, but it's gonna help all these kids, and no one would respond, and they'd be like, oh, sorry, 3,500, and I said it on here, and then my homie Craig heard it. Shout out to my boy Craig, because he's the first person that put me up, and then he just like, check your PayPal, and he just like PayPal me. It was like his donation to the community, and we bought the domain and have it now. I can't remember what the value of it is, but it's just like, it's like equity, bro. It's like it'll like, it's so dumb, but it's like, that's why people have like algorithms that just buy domains. They're just buying combinations of letters and numbers and all this shit, and like, it's insane how expensive that is. But every time I think of an idea, I'm like, the first thing to think if it's available is just GoDaddy and see if the domain's there. If it is, you're like, oh, I can run a business called this. Exactly. So clutch. What have been some of your favorite projects as an agency that you've done since? And what's the difference between what is your agency representing you as an ambassador working on? That's separate? It's separate, personal from, the company side of things. Like Under Armour, we did a commercial for them for their lacrosse campaign where Johns Hopkins and Maryland is like the two biggest schools in lacrosse. So we kind of did a rivalry commercial that aired on ESPN. So it was cool for them to, do that. We did this cool campaign recently, finished up in May for Mental Health Awareness Month for Instagram. Nice. So we shot 9 advocates in the mental health space around North America, kind of giving their story, and that got shared on the AFSP channels for them. Nice. So yeah, it's cool doing campaigns that, not saying I personally wouldn't be sharing them, but it's like, you're telling a story, but I'm not obligated to share it. Right. I like doing good work, but I don't like to post everything that I share. Yeah, sure. And a lot of people think I'm MIA on Instagram because I don't share everything. And a lot of it is because, like, I don't know, I don't feel like posting everything I do. Right. Or it might not fit. Like, yeah, it doesn't fit sometimes, but like I can make it work and collage it in, and it's a good separation for sure. How often do you try to post on IG? Is there like a schedule for yourself, or is it just whenever? There's not a schedule. It's kind of whatever. And I wish I posted more, but like, it's that level that I think as creators give ourselves sometimes. We're like, oh, that's not good enough sometimes. Yeah. And you're like, oh, that one was really dope. Like, let's keep that same mentality and always keep it going. So yeah, and also I feel like sometimes I don't want to just like post a photo of myself. Yeah. I feel like it's just cheesy if I'm like standing somewhere and take a photo of myself. Like looking away. The classic just taking a look somewhere traveler else. Photo, looking off in the distance. Doing a backflip. Exactly. Just doing a backflip over fucking sand dunes and chilling in Dubai. Wearing all black, pants, ripped jeans. With a camera that you just have to have in your hand for the photo. Well, that's just us photographers. We need to have a camera in our hands because we got the Ricky Bobby syndrome. We're like, what do we do with our hands? Right. Yeah. So I know I just made you do. Yeah. I just made him do a little with the intro. At least you gave me the coffee cup so I could. He still has his other hand free. He's like, I don't know what I just did with my hand. Does this go in the pocket or is this what am I doing here? Yeah. I like to feel like a rapper whenever I'm doing videos because I used to rap back in the day. Really? Shit was tight. I actually opened for Machine Gun Kelly. Really? Maybe you were there, bro. Fuck. It was in Iowa. And it was a random show, and it was Slim's, his homie. Yes, it was his birthday, and Kel's like climbed up on top of a fucking speaker and jumped off into the crowd, and it was like at midnight. That happens every show. Yeah, I know, but it was good for us. It was super dope. It was tight as fuck. Dang. Back in the day, man, used to fucking shred Iowa. We would open up for everybody. We opened up for Chance. I opened up for Waka Flocka. Damn, we opened up for so many people. I know. I don't tell a lot of people. I think now all my listeners know for sure because somehow it always circles. But to me, it was cool because when I came here, music was my background, unlike yours, which was another perspective. But for me, getting into video shit, it helped me really like know what artists. If I were them, what would I want? You know what I mean? Totally. That perception is like so helpful, I guess, just because if I were in your position, this is what I would want. So I just make it, and then all of a sudden they gravitate towards that shit. You're like, fuck yeah, that's dope. I don't know. Interesting, weird backdrop. I get that vibe a lot with my action sports background. They're like, oh, like you can shoot that really well. Right. Or action, anything action. It's like, oh yeah. Yeah, you got it down. You got the good angles. When was the last action sports thing you shot? I had done a lot of like event stuff for Red Bull over the course of a couple of years. But like the last real one I did was my friend Pat Casey, who rides for Monster. I always did his like backyard edits. We called him Dream Yard because Pat's got the craziest backyard setup ever. So tight. His own ramp. It's not like a normal like half pipe ramp. It's a full on course.
And then we made a video that, you know, showcased this for the first time. So he kept it secret for a while. And then we had like a red with the octa, you know, flying around. So we were getting some insane footage. And then the next year he built dirt trails. So we did that video of his backyard now growing. And then, but the last one I did with him was like for a contest for Mongoose bikes. And it wasn't like, it was a contest. I've never done a contest ever. So I was like,
you guys competed in it?
It was a video contest for Mongoose, and they picked, I think it was like 6 different BMX athletes on Mongoose.
Yeah.
He rode for Mongoose, and each rider had to pick a filmer. And we went to Woodward West
this is dope.
for a week, and the rider got to put together a team. So Pat selected some of his homies, and then you had a whole week to film and edit and have it edited and turn around by Thursday at midnight.
Was like every other competing group there as well?
Yeah, so we were all
everyone's
there.
in the
So
same-
you're riding in the same spot. So you gotta like push people out of the way and be like, oh, this is our spot right now. So, but not saying we were the most like proactive people. We were just joking around,
chilling.
just having like a good time. Hanging
Yeah.
yeah, not taking it too seriously by any means. And the last day comes around and it was like, all right, let's edit this really quick. And we ended up winning the contest and stuff, and like everyone else took it really seriously, and we're just like having fun. And I think the reason why we won is because in the video I did, I started off the video with like a really cool visual trick where like they jump into themselves. I don't know if you see me do those.
Yeah. I love
and
those.
I did that first effect then, and
Just shit on everybody right off.
yeah.
the
So
gate.
the opening shot, obviously, I also, you know, like the whole mannequin challenge.
Yeah, it was like that.
It started off like that before it happened. I don't want to say I started that either, but when I look back, I'm like, dang, I did that too, because it was super slow and I was on a gimbal, so everyone was like frozen as Pat goes and jumps, so it looks like everyone's frozen, and he does this like huge
That's
jump.
super tight.
So it starts off like that, and then when he lands, it goes into him just like jumping to himself really quick, and everyone was like, how the hell did he do that? And then
Did you do it locked off? Didn't you?
no,
you
I did on a gimbal, and I just motion tracked
Oh.
the clip, and I pretty much every time
Yeah, right.
yeah, you know what to do.
Yeah.
So I
That's sick
just
as
motion
fuck.
tracked him jumping in, and he was coming at the camera, so it was like 3 of him facing me, and boom, 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 and but yeah, we won. And since then, I'm like, all right, I'm retired, I'm out.
That's the end of it.
No,
That's so cool though.
but
That's fun.
But that was the first video contest I was ever in, and you know, it was cool. Just like, not to say like, yeah, I won something
Right.
as a video contest. 'cause,
Yeah.
you know, all these other dudes are such good filmers too, and I don't know if it was just the tricks the guys were doing over there weren't as good or what,
I don't
or
know. But you just, it was my,
Yeah.
everyone's like, let's get to work. You're like, yo, guys,
I'll show
we
you the
can
video,
chill.
dude. It's pretty cool. And the thing that we did that really won was because everyone on the team in every shot did like one consecutive line. So like one guy would jump over another guy while another guy rode under him.
Oh, cool.
Well, most of the other people did like individual clips.
Yeah.
So like if they messed up, they just did it again. But when we had like 3 people trying to like, I forget the word, like synchronize,
Right.
we had, you know, I think that it showed it was a team effort.
Right.
So
Is this online?
yeah, you can look it up right now, dude.
Justin, if you're,
Mongoose
while you're
Jam.
editing this, can you add this on top of the footage? Cause that'd be kind of dope.
Oh yeah, no, it's a cool video.
Tight. That's
Yeah.
sick as fuck. I love contests. I think it's a great way for people to like that's, I mean, that was when I first felt like I was really a filmmaker. It was when like Doritos did their, actually we did, Apple had a film festival
That's cool.
in like 2009. I remember it was like the Apple Film Festival, 24 hours. You had to like shoot, edit, do a whole thing in 24 hours, and you won like an insane Final Cut, all these IMAX, all this shit. And I was like, oh my God, like we're the best. We're going to win this shit. And like, we definitely lost, but it was like the challenge of doing something in 24 hours was so sick. We just did our second one. We just started our second one. And now for like photographers, videographers, it's Dutch Bros giving them like $1,000 and they get to build a working relationship with the brand and shit. It's so cool.
yeah, it's and being like competitive too. Like I just want to win.
Yeah.
And but that's like a whole week out of like my normal work life that like, you know, you don't know if you're gonna make money or not, and you're like, oh, I'm taking the chance on this.
Right.
So you know, that's probably why I haven't done any of them since, because I'm like, oh, I got a job. That,
Yeah.
I
Like
know.
really need to like kind of be here and shit.
Yeah, but no, it was fun just being a week with all my homies and
Yeah.
just like goofing off.
That's
But
tight.
It's a good video.
So what's next for you?
You know, good old, you know, proposals and decks and pitching some stuff. But besides that, with my Delta deal, I have a couple, well, the rest of the year I have some set number of trips I need to go on for them. So
Yeah, what's that?
traveling.
You just have to fly places?
I travel with them, and kind of share my experience with these new cities I've been to. I've been to every state in North America except Louisiana, And
How'd
Alaska.
you miss that?
We I don't count it because we drove through it on tour.
Yeah, but you guys didn't play in New Orleans?
No, I didn't know New Orleans.
Wow,
So.
holy shit.
So I really want to like fly there just to like cross off the bucket list. And then like my girlfriend had never been to Paris, so like we went to Paris for her birthday for Delta and stuff. And I kind of like
So
talked
sick.
about that.
So
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah. So
What a fucking great collaboration.
Yeah. So and then just kind of share with just like the cultures I meet and just
Yeah.
like my experience of how they connected me with the cities and stuff.
Through content for your channel, or is that something where
It's
you
for
make
my
stuff?
channel.
Yeah, that's
so,
sick.
You know, obviously they'll distribute it however they want to use
Right.
it. But no, I'm stoked because I was already a Delta. Like
Yeah, me
flyer.
too.
Yeah.
That's just fucking clutch.
Yeah. What's your status?
It's trash, silver.
Yeah.
But I also like
That's good.
tour. I didn't understand it. I was
Dude,
like, fuck, why was I racking up shit?
Oh yeah, dude, that was something. If you travel, dude, stick with one airline for sure.
I know. Our flight to Africa was the one that got me to like go to silver at the end of the year. It was like, so close to the end of the year, and I was like, fuck yeah, I made it. And I don't know if it's done anything for me yet.
Yeah.
What's your status?
Diamond.
Lit.
Oh yeah.
Fucking lit.
Oh yeah.
Did they give you that shit automatically?
No. I wish they gave
You
me
really
that one.
earned it?
Yeah. You had to fly 125,000 miles.
Fuck.
And you just spend a certain amount with them as well.
Right.
And stuff. But no, it's cool because whenever you fly, you usually get upgraded.
Yeah, right.
Right, like instantly.
That's pretty dope.
It's cool. But yeah, the hotels is like the next thing I need to be consistent with. I don't capitalize on that.
Yeah, me either. I need to probably dial that in.
Mm.
That's a whole hustle. There's a whole hustle with fucking collecting points and doing all that shit.
Yeah.
It's kind of addicting. I don't know. That sounds fun though. That's good. So if I have the Q&A experience thing that I switch over to on our Patreon.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that in a second.
Cool.
But before I ask you those questions, 'cause I kind of want to dive more into. I think like the financial side of it is interesting, especially for upcoming creators, like how to deal with finance and how to kind of like build your.
Yeah, I'll give my best abilities I can give on that.
Yeah, I think that'd be fire. They'll appreciate it. But so if you want to hear that, patreon.com/black with no cream. You heard?
Yeah.
What? I guess like I kind of like asking this question now because my friend Marcus told me this. He works at EA and he's like, if we were doing what we're doing now 5 years ago, like shit would be different. And not everyone always thinks like that. But 5 years ago, what do you wish that you were doing different at this point? If you could tell yourself something now, knowing what you've accomplished and way you've cracked deals and all this shit, is there anything you would tell yourself at that point, like that could help kind of shortcut your path?
It sounds really simple, but it's important to have a website.
I just deleted mine, dog.
You did?
Yeah, I hated it, so I just was like,
I never had a website for the longest time, and a lot of the work I get comes through like the email through my website.
Interesting.
And it's just I feel like not that many people have websites, and it just looks a little professional that like, oh, this person took the time to make a website and your work's here.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to make one now just with all the resources out there, and just having something that like has your name.com that people can go to, and then from there they can see your work.
Yeah.
And then from there you can link all your social stuff, just whatever.
No, that's
because a lot of these brands that you do work with, obviously you can talk through them through whatever DMs and all sorts, but it looks more professional when you can like, oh, shoot me an email and go through the right channels. So
I agree.
Emails was like the first thing that I took forever. Website was the first thing that took me a while to get, but once I got that was like step one. And then after that was kind of knowing my worth on like what I should charge back then, because of course you got to do some stuff for free, but when you finally had like a real project and you were too scared to like ask for the proper industry rate, you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm skilled enough to ask for that,
or you don't want to lose a job.
You're like, oh, that's a lot of money, they might say no to me, and then I really want to work for them. So it's just not being afraid to be confident in your work. Like everyone can do good work, but like you just gotta be confident in what you do.
That's so good.
Yeah.
We just did a morning roast called Fuck You Bids. And it's like the idea of throwing out a fuck you bid, like when you're just like, maybe you don't have time, or you just like, you don't really know, you just throw out like 3 times your rate or something. And then sometimes you stick them and you're just like, oh shit. The art of that is kind of interesting. I was talking to my friend about it.
Yeah, it can work.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
All right, cool. This is great. So if everyone listens to this shit and got all the way here, we're an hour 36 in. This is a good one.
Second podcast for me, so I've never talked this long ever.
Bless up.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
I always say, so at this point, if people listen this far into the podcast and we want to know about it, so I tell everyone to go to your Instagram.
Okay.
And then tag me in it at Ben Rovers World, and then they're going to put this hashtag that you're going to pick so that we know that they made it this long. And it might be like 6 months from now that they hear this shit, but we'll just randomly see this hashtag that you're about to decide what it is pop up on your feed. That's a popular one. So
It is?
Yeah.
What? The whole one or just no cream?
I don't know. All right, send it. See what I want to see what you pick. Anything you want. Anything.
Is
And it always puts everyone in a weird spot. He's thinking.
Yeah, no, shit. Hold on.
He's looking at the Zoom audio recorder right now.
No, I'm just
He's
looking
like,
at
Zoom audio.
I'm looking at what we got here to work with.
Lights, cameras, a mug.
Yeah. I don't drink coffee though, so maybe just
It doesn't have to be coffee.
I know, but I'm just maybe the hashtag is like,
I don't drink coffee.
no caffeine for me. Fuck.
There it is. That's a great one.
All right, sure.
No caffeine for me. So put that shit on there so we know that you listen to this because that's dope.
I doubt someone's gonna put that one. Cool.
Wait till they do,
Everyone has caffeine, dude.
but they'll put the hashtag.
I get that.
So you have no caffeine consumption.
I've been off of that for a while now. Yeah.
Soda and all that.
I've been
bullshit.
trying to eat healthier now and like just drinking water and dude, being on the road when we use Postmates, everything.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I'm gonna get that fried chicken sandwich right now.
Oh, dude, you have anything you can think of just sent to your house.
Sick.
So no, I don't work out anymore, so I might as well eat healthy.
Right, that's good.
Yeah.
Good swab. All right, cool. Well, we're gonna switch over to the Patreon. What the fuck do I call it? The Q&A experience. I don't know why I just blanked on that. So if you want to listen to that, again, links in the bio and shit. Appreciate you coming on the show, dude.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for having me, man.
No, this is fucking awesome. Go check him out, and his whole shit is fucking wild. And then he also has a website, so you guys need to look that up. CaseyMcPerry.com.
Exactly.
All right, switching over.
All right.
That's it. Casey McPerry's episode is done. The Q&A experience is, in fact, the juiciest one we've had yet because Casey shares a story on there about an upcoming product that he is going to be releasing that he hasn't told anyone publicly. And it's fucking awesome that he was cool enough to share that with our Patreon group because he knows that they're a trusted source and are down for that early bird experience. So if you want to hear it, patreon.com/BWNC to get the entire Q&A experience, access to that. And that's it. We appreciate you guys listening to the podcast every week. You guys are fucking awesome. Make sure to subscribe to everything that you listen to this shit on and share it with some friends. Don't forget to get the How to Charge a Client Guide, shop BWNC.com, as well as a piece of merch because we want to keep the lights on and keep pumping these motherfuckers out. So that's how we do it. If you guys like this podcast, hop on YouTube right now and go to this episode and just comment, I like this podcast. And if you want to be a fucking sport, continue with that sentence and tell us why, because that'd be dope. All right, I love you. Goodbye.